Welcome, everybody, and good afternoon. Thank you so much for coming to our webinar. Before I start, I'd just like to let you know that we are recording this webinar. So if you do not want to be recorded, you can leave your camera off and you can put yourself on mute. I'm just going to give an extra minute there for people to arrive. If you hear a bell in the background, that's just people coming into the room, okay? Okay. All right. So guys, as I said, welcome. It's great to have you here today. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Jessica. I am the recruitment specialist here at the TEFL Institute. I primarily help people who are either doing their TEFL course or just finished their TEFL course and they're looking for a job to teach English abroad or even online. I'm also here to support you on our TEFL internships throughout the experience. And today we are going to talk about our Spain internship. I also have a guest speaker here with me today, Louise, who's done our Spain internship, and I'm going to ask her a few questions. So you can probably see her there. Hi, Louise, how are you?
Hello. Hi, Jessica. Lovely to see you again and hear you.
Great. Thank you so much. So guys, today we're going to cover, firstly, what are the benefits of teaching English in Spain? Secondly, what's included in our Spain internship package? What are the requirements to teach English in Spain? And also, as I said, we're going to hear from Louise about her experience over in Spain. At the end, we're going to have a Q&A session as well, but please feel free to put in questions into the chat box throughout, or you can even shout them out if you're brave enough, okay? I want this to be an open conversation as well. If you do have any questions, please, you can stop me. I'd love to get an idea, guys, who's interested in teaching in Spain here, is there a particular place in Spain that you're thinking of? Maybe if you want to write it in the chat box here. Perfect. I can see there Owen says Barcelona. Yeah, that's a very popular one. All right, for sure, Barcelona, which is perfect because actually our internship is in Barcelona. So definitely a good fit as well. There's so many beautiful locations in Spain. It's hard to go wrong, really. But yeah, let me know there, guys, throughout the webinar where you're interested in teaching. Okay, so guys, why would we teach in Spain? What are the benefits? What are the highlights of this beautiful country? So firstly, of course, it's a very popular choice. You may have heard before, it is the top-rated TEFL destination. Very, very popular amongst even Asian countries to teach English in. Besides the amazing weather, it boasts a really low cost of living, a very relaxed pace of life, if this is what you would like, a very colorful culture, of course, known for its festivals, fiestas, sangria, and of course, the beautiful tapas. Overall, it's just an amazing lifestyle. If you do decide to teach abroad, it's a great place to get fantastic experience, but also learn about a new culture. And secondly, there the high demand for teachers. So it is quite saturated there with TEFL jobs, which is great news for us TEFL graduates to get a job. Typically, a lot of young Spanish people, it's difficult for them to find a job in their home country. So a lot of them now are, immigrating to other countries that speak English. So this is a huge skill they need to learn to be employable. So that's great for us. A great demand for English teachers as well. And English is required for the first year of primary school in Spain. So again, the demand for especially language assistance in the classroom in Spain is really skyrocketed in the last few years. So this is now your time really to give it a go. I think this is it's a great country if you're a new teacher and you want to get some experience as well. You don't typically need a degree or any prior teaching experience. And it's also perfect if you're very passionate about working and teaching with kids as well. I think this is a perfect fit for you. So secondly then, guys, I just want to go on to what's included in our Spain package. So firstly, of course, the job placement, which is typically 10 weeks of volunteer teaching placement. So as I said, this is position as a classroom assistant. So it's perfect if you're just starting out, you want to start building on a TEFL career, maybe you're still feeling a bit nervous about being in the classroom. So here you're a language assistant, so you have a co-teacher, so it's perfect for this opportunity. So there's no accommodation costs in this internship package. You'll get full board host family stay. So you're getting the most, safest and authentic, Spanish experience as well, staying with a Spanish family. And again, if you're passionate about kids, there's a great opportunity there to teach them English in their home as well. So it's a really well-rounded experience, really, in Spain. And again, you don't have to worry about paying for rent or anything like that. And you will literally be living with, the perfect tour guides as well. Included in this package as well is airport pickup and also transport throughout your placement too. And of course, importantly, your TEFL training. So for this package, we've included the foundational course, which is your 120-hour TEFL course, plus 2 specialist courses, which is your 30-hour teaching young learners course, which is going to be crucial, and also teaching English through yoga and mindfulness, which is just going to give you that extra edge and some creativity when it comes to lesson planning. And we're also going to throw in there some lesson guides for you as well, so you're ready to go. We do actually include as well in this internship is a Spain culture course. So to avoid any culture shock, we've included a online culture course that you can do before you go, just to give you an idea of how life works there in Spain abroad. What I think particularly is really great about this internship is that you will actually get a personal mentor throughout your experience in the school as well. So someone there to support you with the transition, give you ongoing feedback so you're not alone. And of course, goes without saying, you'll also get your support from ourselves pre-departure, during the internship, and also after as well. We're here to help you every step of the way. Okay, and finally there, I'm just going to put into the chat as well, what are the requirements to do this program, okay? So if you have a look in the chat box there, I'm going to add it in for you. So for this internship, you will need to be aged between 20 and 30. If you do, if you are slightly maybe a year or two outside of that age range, please get in touch with us and we can see if this is possible. But this is the general age they're looking for and probably the most suitable for living with a host family and also for teaching young learners. So as well, they're asking for a native English speaker or a very fluent level of English as well. If you're not a native English speaker, you can still get in touch with us and we can inquire for you if you are suitable for the program. Ideally there, we are looking for passport holders from Ireland, UK, Canada, Australia, America, South Africa, or New Zealand. Again, if you are outside of that, please get in touch anyway, and we will inquire for you. What's crucial there as well is that you are TEFL qualified, but it is included in this internship. So you'll be able to do those courses before you head off. And what's fantastic is you don't need a degree for this program, so you can start teaching straight away. Okay, so that's our requirements, guys. If you do have any questions on that, please feel free to pop any questions in the chat as well. Okay, so I'm now going to ask our Spain intern, Louise, a couple of questions on her experience so far. So Louise, I just wanted to start off by asking, why did you decide to choose an internship experience with us, the TEFL Institute?
Yeah, hi Jessica and hi everyone. Lovely to be here. So thanks for the invitation. Yeah, I suppose with this internship, it really, I suppose I was very fascinated about the Spanish culture and really like the food as well. I'm a big foodie, so I was very interested in experience the tapas and the sangria. And yeah, I made the awful mistake actually of calling the sangria or sangria familia sangrada or sangrada familia,
Oh,
which was a really
okay.
bad mistake. But yeah, I had a fantastic time, and the reason why I chose it was great to experience a new culture, new people, and it was a really good time for me to really open up the door and see if teaching was for me because it was a nice kind of time period to experience whether I would like to pursue teaching. And yeah, it was a great experience, and I definitely recommend it.
Fantastic. And how was your first few months over there in Spain?
Yeah, I have to say, the minute I arrived, it was beautiful. I I was actually 31 at the time because I know you mentioned there's kind of like an age limit,
Yeah.
but I it didn't seem to be a problem, all right. And yeah, it was brilliant. When I first kind of landed, I landed into Barcelona. It was amazing. I stayed in Barcelona for a few days. The family were at a wedding, so I got to spend a few extra days in Barcelona, which is great to explore. And then I traveled to a beautiful place called Puigcerdá, which is the North Spain in the Catalan region. And it was about 5 minutes from France. So you were on the border of France and Spain, which is
Fantastic.
pretty cool. You could take in two countries.
Did you
And
travel
yeah,
over a bit or you stayed in Spain?
yeah, so I traveled a good bit with the family to France, and it was beautiful. Like the supermarkets there were incredible, and the family used to always laugh because they would go to France for the cheese,
I
for
know.
the
Yeah,
for the
I can
shopping.
imagine.
So that was pretty cool. And yeah, I have to say I settled in really quickly. Spanish people are so welcoming and so wonderful. They really open up the door to you and make you feel at home, really do. And they do their best as well to speak English with you. Um, and yeah, I felt very welcomed and yeah, from the very first moment. Yeah.
So you had a very positive experience with your host family, would you say?
Oh, definitely. I actually am still in touch with them. So I would chat to them about once a week. So I was very close with the family, the mother and father, and they had two young children as well. 12, a little girl called Clara, who was 12. And we also had Mark as well, who was about 14. So yeah, I'm very, very close to them, and I'm planning a surprise trip maybe around Halloween to go see the kids
Very nice.
and family.
Oh, no, that's a huge benefit, isn't it, of traveling, is you can always go back and visit old friends.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. And they're super cool family. Really sporty. So it was a great match. I don't know who made the match with the family, but it was a great match. And it was I know they're big into ice hockey, which I didn't know was a thing in Spain. So yeah, if you like ice hockey, there's huge tournaments in Spain. And yeah, that was really cool to see. That was my first time to experience it in person.
Fantastic. And maybe if you could take us through, Louise, what was a typical day in the school, how you found the students as well?
Yeah, of course. So a typical day. So I was on a part-time contract, so I would have been on maybe 15 hours a week to give you an idea. And it was really nice because you had the time in the classroom. It was a teaching assistant role, but I actually had my own classroom and I was teaching my own classes. So that was really cool. Had a beautiful classroom on the very top of the school, and it was beautiful. And um, the school in general, all the staff were amazing. I used to love going into the canteen, having the conversations in the morning. I had no Spanish, so I was trying to learn a few words here and there. And yeah, they were very, very cool. And the staff in the canteen were amazing. Um, I can't say I have a gluten intolerance, but I can't eat a lot of gluten.
Hmm.
And they came out with kind of gluten-free products,
Um,
and it was brilliant. Yeah, really, really nice. So yeah, if anyone has any dietary requirements, that could be looked after as well. Um, and yeah, the students I really, really miss. They were amazing. I had a lot of time, and like with students from ranging from 3 years old right up to about 16, and the teenagers, sometimes the trickier ones to would you say look after in a classroom,
Yeah, yeah,
but they're the funniest.
yeah.
And I had a great time, and I really do miss them, and I hope to surprise them sometime in the autumn.
Oh, that would be fantastic. I'm sure they'd be delighted to see you. That is fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah,
I actually have a question there for you,
of course.
Louise, just from one of the
Yeah.
participants. Did you need a lot of spending money if you wanted to eat out, etc.? How much would you say to bring with you?
Oh, that's a really good question. Um, okay, so I would say, for anyone who's in Ireland, Ireland is very expensive to enjoy a cup of coffee. Whereas Spain, if you think of like Irish prices and reduce that by half, that's the price you're looking at here, like in Spain. So yeah, for example, I loved going for a coffee in the morning. You could comfortably go for coffee every morning, and it might only cost you maybe €2, 150, depending on what you get. But it's really, really reasonable, and even the food as well. So I mean, you could really live very comfortably even on €100 a week.
Oh,
Um, and if you brought more, great. I think the most I spent when I was there was actually on traveling.
mm,
So taking maybe weekend trip to Barcelona.
mm,
But you can stay in hostels in Barcelona for nothing. There's a great hostel called The Generator. I would definitely recommend. Um, and yeah, I think you'd probably spend more in the big cities and traveling than maybe where you're based with your school.
mhm, mhm. I think it's great though that you're kind of staying with the host family as well, though, so you're not having to pay those extra costs of rent or anything like that. That would just eat into your wage. Yeah.
Yeah, and the host family, Jessica, were great because they would actually bring us on weekend trips away as well. So, like, we did a fantastic mountain trek in France, and it was actually on the border. It was on the border of Spain and France, so you could see people write in the trees, "This is Spain. This is France." And
Oh,
we
wow.
were actually looking for the stags. It was stag season that time, so we could actually hear the stags in the mountains, and it was beautiful. It's definitely a memory I'll remember. And yeah, they were great. They'd bring me to Barcelona as well the weekends, and used to do stuff with the family and different festivals. There was beautiful food festivals. There was a horse festival there if anyone likes horses. Yeah, it was really cool. So like there's definitely trips where you'd go with the family, and they were so good. They paid for everything. They paid for the
Oh, wow.
dinners, the drinks.
That's
Like it was incredible. But yeah, I was very lucky, very lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Even what you said there about traveling outside of Spain, I think being in near the center of Europe, it's fantastic just to be able to get around if you do wish to have some travel plans after as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. So I think to answer that person's question about how much per week, I'd say think about where you want to travel and kind of budget for the traveling rather than the kind of everyday spending maybe. Because that's where you'll spend the most money.
No, that's great advice. Thanks, Louise.
No
I
problem.
actually have a good few more questions now.
Oh, go for it.
So,
No problem.
was it hard to
Happy to help.
adjust to teaching? This person has never taught before, so he's a bit scared. It's new and
Oh, okay.
unknown for them.
Wow. Okay. Well, don't be scared. I was actually, I suppose I was a little scared at the start as well. Like, and it's a good thing that you're scared because it means that you care about something.
Mm.
And yeah, for me, my background was TV, producing and video editing. So this was a completely different job for me. I worked in a very busy environment in Ireland, and I was looking for something a little bit different. And I went to Spain, and yeah, I felt like, yeah, your first day you're going to be nervous, and that's okay. But you have to remember that you have like your guardian angel, which is your teaching assistant, as well as going to be with you. So any questions you can ask them. And yeah, there's going to be lots of people there that are going to support you and help you. And actually, the teachers are great. They're great mentors. So any problems or questions you have, you can always ask them as well. Because you could be like picking up your students as well from different classes.
Mm.
So yeah, I think you'll be great. And yeah, I mean the TEFL course is great because you have all the material that you need. And yeah, I'm happy to, Jessica, if you want to forward on my email address to any of the guys here today, it's no
Yeah,
problem.
absolutely.
And
If you want to pop it in the chat, Louise, you can do that as
yeah, of
well. That would
course.
be fantastic.
And any problems or questions or anything like that, just give me a shout and happy to help at another time as well if you
Great,
don't want to
thanks,
kind of
Louise.
ask today.
Fantastic. No, thank you. That's really, really great. And I think even just to add to what you said there, an internship is perfect for that circumstance. If you're thinking, oh, look, I've just finished my TEFL course and I'm very nervous still, that's not a problem. The internship will be perfect for you, Paul. Just to continue on there. So Louise, what would be your best advice for planning your classes?
Best advice for planning the classes. That's a really, really good question. And I like that one because I think at the very beginning, you really don't know what to do because I suppose like you've studied everything that you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best advice I can give on that question is to first, when your very first day, and I would even say your first week, is get to know your students, get to know their names, try and get familiar with them, find out what they like, what they don't like, and then maybe in the second week, try and introduce little things that maybe everyone has an interest in. So it could be I had a class, mostly boys. I would have nearly once a week, and I knew they were all mad about football. So what I would do, the World Cup was on at the time, and I would try and introduce English about the World Cup, introduce like vocabulary about, this is the goals, what's the fans, the people in the stadium, these are fans. So yeah, I think that's advice I would give is try and find out what their interests are. And if you know that, and that's a golden nugget to kind of captivate them and have them learning more, and they won't get distracted as easily.
Great. No, that's great advice. Thank you, Louise.
No
And as
problem.
well, did you find it hard to make friends? This person in particular is looking at traveling solo. Would you find that a challenge over there in Spain?
Do you know, I actually didn't, but I would say from my experience, and I think anyone who goes traveling solo, can I just say as well, is the scariest but bravest thing you can do. And I remember even taking my first solo flight from Ireland to Spain that time, and it is quite scary. But I think it's really exciting at the same time. And I actually, when I took on the Spain internship, I actually was grouped with some people who were doing it too,
Hmm.
and we actually kept in contact. We had a little weekend out in Barcelona, and so I had like different friends like from Ireland and France who were dotted around Spain. So you do have those contacts and those friends, and you can always meet up at any time. And yeah, it was really, really cool. So you do get a bunch of friends even from the very beginning. And then you start to make friends, I suppose. And for me, when I was making friends, um, I would say I did it by even just going to like cafes.
Yeah.
I met a lovely girl in a cafe who I used to go in nearly every morning. It was a beautiful cafe called Cake and Bake, and yeah, she was amazing. And you could meet even friends just in a cafe. So I definitely would just go out there and yeah, just get talking to people.
Yeah, I think that's what I love about especially Europe is that cafe culture. It's just so easy to chat with people next to you and
So easy, and
make
Spanish
friends.
people are so friendly, like and like yeah, they always have a story to tell, which is really cool.
Fantastic. There's just a few other questions there I could probably answer.
Of course.
Do we have to stay with a host family? So Aoife, for this program, yes, you would have to stay with a host family as it is, more of a rounded experience. But I think as Louise was saying, this is going to give you a more authentic experience. And, also I see a question there about a stipend as well. It's not included, but I think as we were discussing there, you don't have to pay for rent. You don't have to pay for those trips away at the weekend with the family. So a lot of your costs are taken out and you don't have to think of them. So no, this is a volunteering position. It is more focused on the experience itself. And just one more question there. When is the next intake? So the next intake is September of this year. The following one will be January then. Okay, so if you're looking at signing up, it will be September of this year. Perfect. So I think that's questions for now. If you do have any more questions there, guys, you can add them in. But no, thank you so much, Louise. You
no worries.
put in your email address there, did you?
I did. I popped my email address into the chat there. So anyone who has any questions, do contact me. It's no problem at all. And I'll do my very best to get in contact with you as soon as I can.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Louise.
No problem.
I just see one more question there.
Of course, yeah.
Can you still apply and qualify for the internship if you already have a TEFL qualification? Okay, I could probably answer that one. Sorry.
No,
yeah, so anyone can apply to this internship. So you, if you already have a TEFL certification and it is an authentic TEFL cert, you can check with us and you can still sign up for the internship. Actually, yeah, I did want to ask Louise how you found the TEFL courses, and did you find they were quite helpful for your experience as well for the internship?
Yeah, the TEFL courses were brilliant. And for me, like my personal kind of journey through TEFL, it was very hard at the beginning to just get my concentration into it. But then after a while, I started to, like, I suppose, visualize like my new life, which I think really helped me to visualize yourself in a different country. So yeah, that really helped me and kind of motivated me a little bit more, and I got through it really quickly then. So yeah, I have to say all the material is fantastic to use in the classroom. It's brilliant.
Fantastic. Yeah. And you went on to do another one of our internships, Louise.
Yeah. I have to say, like for anyone who's kind of wondering as well about kind of jobs in Spain, I was very fortunate. I was offered a job in the school, and also one in Barcelona. So it was very easy to get a job, and I was very blessed. But I didn't take it purely for the fact that I already had the Italian internship booked. So yeah, I went on to Italy then, and yeah, I'm still here and I'm loving it. So I'm here over 6 months now.
That's
so
great.
Yeah, and going to be here for another 6 months, and yeah, hopefully for many more years to come.
That's great. No, I'm delighted you've decided to keep teaching. That's really fantastic, and best of luck with your TEFL career.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Louise. So guys, I'm just going to pop in there the link to our internship if you are looking at booking on for September. And just to let you know as well, we have our birthday sale at the moment. So we have a great discount on this opportunity if you want to sign up. If you would like to book a call with ourselves, one of our advisors, to discuss this program, or even if you want to email me or give me a call to talk about teaching English in Spain and give you some job assistance, I'm going to put in our contact details here as well. And you can ask us any questions at all. If you really liked this webinar, guys, I'd really appreciate if you could leave us a review. I'm just going to pop in the review link here. And if you leave a review and mention my name, Jessica, you can claim a free 30-hour TEFL course. You can add this to your CV if you send us a screenshot. So if you have any questions, guys, as I said, you can email us, call us, even live chat on the website. I just want to thank you again, Louise, for coming on. It was fantastic. Thank you. And for everyone else coming for the webinar today, we really appreciate it, and have a great evening. Thank you very much.